Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy Make America Lit, back with another NBA 2K22 video. And in today's video, I'm giving you guys part 2 on how to become a better defender in NBA 2K22. Now, in the first video that I put out on how to become a better defender, of course, I couldn't give you guys, a full in-depth video just because, my internet was out. I was having problems with my internet and stuff like that. So, as I worked out those problems and stuff like that or whatever, I'm now able to bring you guys a better full in-depth video with video examples and stuff like that. We're gonna go in-depth into the badges and all of those things like that. So I just figured I'd bring you guys a part 2 to this video, you know what I'm saying? So let's just jump right into it. And now this section I've titled of the guide anticipation, and anticipation is really just using your IQ to pretty much just predict what the defense is going to do before they do it. A big part of playing good defense, or even just good on-ball defense, off-ball defense, is just predicting what the offense is going to do before they do that, and using that knowledge to then make them do what you want them to do instead. It's kind of like when, players say, oh, if a player's right-handed, you're going to anticipate that they're going to try to go right because that's their strong hand. So what do? You guard their right hand, try to force them to go left because that's their weaker hand or whatever. If someone wants to rim run, you can force them to shoot by kind of like sagging off or whatever like that, because that's what they want to do. Same way if somebody has to inbound the ball, they only got 2 seconds or whatever like that. That they only have 2 seconds to just catch the ball and then pull the shot, because they don't have time to dribble, they don't have time to create any looks or anything like that. They're just going to catch and shoot. You wouldn't even jump. You would just literally just stay on your feet and just run next to them. As soon as they catch the ball, just make sure you're next to them. They're going to shoot a contested shot, probably miss. You already know, again, like I said, if somebody wants to rim run, you already know that their build can't shoot. You know what I'm saying? So the only way they're going to really be able to score is off shots in the paint. And if you cut off the paint by sagging off or whatever like that, you're going to force them to try to beat you with their weakness. Now, obviously, this is NBA 2K22 and everybody can shoot. So I don't mean to just back off and just sit in the paint or whatever, obviously, because they probably got some type of jump shot, be it like a low three ball, or probably like a, medium to decent mid-range shot. But either way, you kind of just want to anticipate what they're going to do and then kind of just dictate what you're willing to let them do off of that. Now, this is also another example of what I mean by making key reads and just anticipation. Now, they're going to be inbounding the ball. I immediately try to get the steal because I already see he's going to try to get a quick inbound in. Whether he gives it to Headband or the guy in the green sneakers, I'm in position to try to get like a leaping interception with the interceptor badge. So I might have made a play on that ball or whatever like that. But I see him immediately try to rim run, right? And Blue here is out of position. So once I see that, I immediately let my guy go, because I'm like, well, there's 2 people on the perimeter. Right wing is out of the situation. He's not even in play. So it's just going to be these 2 guys. And Blue is already out of position because he's turning away from his matchup. Gray here is still on his guy. But if need to, Gray here can pick up my guy and Blue here can pick up 9. So I try to make a play for the ball. And, the play actually works out because I end up getting a block or whatever, or a chase down block. Now, this right here is going to be another example of what I mean by anticipation, or just anticipating what the offense is going to do or whatever, and that's going to dictate to what you do as a defender. So now you can see that we just scored or whatever. They're about to inbound, and they're making a really big mistake that a lot of people make. Just based on how they're playing, I could tell that they were randoms. They weren't like a crew or a team or friends playing together. They're randoms because it's 2 of them and it's only 1 of me, and I'm the only one pressing. And for starters, I'm only pressing because my guy is inbounding, which means I'm not going to get beat. you know, if my guy is right corner down there or in the paint right there, whatever, I'm not even down here trying to press. But because I seen that my guy was inbounding, I figured I could try and get another steal or whatever like that before the quarter's over. Now, they're making a big mistake because there's two of them and it's only one of me, which means I can only really guard both of them, but they're making it easy for me because they're both running the same direction. They're not even trying to go left and one go right. All 17 had to do was stay left and then let 9 stay right. I can't guard both of them, so naturally I would just stand in front of 99 and try to get like a tip pass or something like that. But of course, they both grow running the same way, and I'm able to anticipate that. I'm able to get a steal. I pop my takeover, and then I then shoot the jump shot. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is another example of what I was talking about when I was explaining to you guys about anticipation and whatnot like that on defense. So now you're gonna see we get a rebound or whatever. We're on offense. We're making passes, nice ball movement, whatever. We shoot a bad shot or whatever, but it's cool. We get back on defense. Now, here is what I was talking about with making IQ reads and anticipation and stuff like that. Now, they're going to throw the ball down, which is a smart play or whatever like that, you know, start a fast break and stuff like that. We are indeed down 9 points or whatever like that. Excuse me, 11 points. And they throw the ball down. Now, the center is going to make a mistake. He thinks that he can get that ball. He had a fair shot at getting it, as you can see by me pausing it or whatever like that. So you can't even really be mad at him trying to make that play on that ball or whatever. But here's the mistake that he made. Because when he does that, he's now bumping into number 1. They're both out of position to make a play on 23. And now he's in the way of him getting over to number 3, who can probably shoot. I should be picking up on 17. Now, if 13 had just kept running, he would have had 23, 1 would have had 3, and I would have had 17. We would have been able to make them, you know, wait until our defense was able to get back completely. But him trying to make a play on the ball, he gambled, he lost. He doesn't get the steal, gives 23 a clean red carpet path to the basket. Now, as you can see, 1 is making the proper read because now he sees 3 is wide open. So 1 is trying to get over there. Big man should be trying to pick up on 17 because now I'm the last line of defense of trying to make a play on the ball. I see that, and of course, I'm going to try to make a play on the ball. 1 sees that, 1 goes over to 3, but 13 is still trying to make a play on 23. Now, obviously, 23 doesn't have the wherewithal to notice that he has 17 or 3 open. He could have swung that to 3, 3 could have swung that to 17, and they would have had a wide open 3, and that would have been a good play. But they're probably randoms. They aren't probably teammates or anything like that or friends. So they're not going to make those reads or whatever like that. And again, this is happening all in a matter of seconds. So to make these reads, you got to be, you know, on point or whatever like that. So I'm trying to make a play on the ball. Again, like I said, 1 realizes that 3 is open. So he makes that play. 13 is still trying to make the play, but I end up getting the chase down block or whatever like that. And we get a turnover on that, you know, or they get a turnover, I should say, which is nice. You know, we was able to get a stop or whatever. And this next section that we're going to be talking about is IQ and reading the offense. Now, I would put IQ and reading the offense under kind of like general court or game awareness. You know, just knowing certain things or being aware of certain things, like knowing when the team is running a full 5-man squad, making constant reads, like when someone is going back door or setting down screens, making call outs when you're beat, you know, having the awareness to know when someone is in foul trouble, you know, whether it's your own teammate that's in foul trouble or even having the, you know, the awareness to know that the other team is in foul trouble. Yo, attack the center. You know, the guard is in foul trouble. Attack him. You know what I'm saying? Just making general adjustments and stuff like that as you're going throughout the game. You know, one of the biggest mistakes me and my friends made a lot is that we would make adjustments too late. You know, sometimes you have to put your pride aside and let the lockdown guard ball, or maybe the lock is getting cooked and maybe somebody else, maybe your playmaker or something, or somebody with less defensive badges has to guard ball because they're just better at defending the person, or they're able to just stay in front of the person better. You know, I get sometimes it's like, oh, well, if I'm a lockdown now, I should be guarding ball. But sometimes the person that's not the lockdown can play better defense, you know. I've lost countless games because I've been too prideful, or somebody on my team has been too prideful to call for a switch, or we called for a switch too late in the game. You know, nobody didn't want to switch until, the second half or the third quarter or the fourth quarter. You know, we didn't fall into a zone until the fourth quarter, and then we fall into a zone and we're just locking them up easily. But we didn't want to fall into the zone because they was getting cooked and or I was getting cooked and fuck that, I'm not playing zone or whatever. Like sometimes you have to make those adjustments. IQ and reading the offense also means you're gonna have to make split second decisions because of how fast paced the game is. Just like in real life, knowing when to switch versus when you should try to fight through the screens, or when I play with friends, as soon as we load into a match, we'll see the other team's build and we'll decide right there, who's going to switch. If the center has a outside big, you know what? I'll switch with the power forward. I'll stick the power forward. You get the center because he's going to be outside. I'll be able to stay inside and get rebounds. We've given up countless baskets because when we first started playing, we didn't know if the person was going to switch, so it was just a lot of confusion. Somebody get hit with a screen. I don't know if you need help. You're not calling out. I don't know. Am I switching? Are we switching? We switching everything? Are we not switching everything? Are we only going to switch when you call for a switch? What's the deal? We hedging, soft hedging, hard hedging. These are adjustments and, reads that you have to make as a team. It is a little bit harder to do these things, obviously, when you're playing solo, but you can do some of these things as a solo player, just like you can call out, backdoor and stuff like that. Now, whether your teammates might hear you or not is a totally different story because, a lot of people in the game do like to stay in party chat now, you know what I'm saying? But if the people are in game chat and they can't hear you, I'm sure they'll appreciate, you calling out the switch, because sometimes someone thinks you're going to switch and then they pick up your man and then their man is open because you didn't call out the switch, or you didn't switch. As soon as you see the screen coming, you should either be calling out the switch or call out that you can get through it or you're going to try to get around it, The only person that's going to know you're stuck on the screen and whether you can get out of that animation or if you're stuck in animation is you. I can watch you get screened and I might think you need to switch, but you can get hit by a screen and just feel like, I'm out of that animation, but only you would know that as the player that's hitting the screen. So, this next section is just going to be about IQ and making offensive reads on the offensive side of the ball. Okay, now in this clip, I'm going to be showing you guys an example of what I mean by anticipation when it comes to playing proper defense. Now you're going to see my teammate shoots a late, misses a shot or whatever like that. Now on this fast break, I'm the first man back, so it's my job to pick up ball immediately. When you're the first man back, your job is to either pick up ball or pick up whoever's already down the court. So if there was somebody in the right corner or left corner, it would then be my job to hit that right corner or that left corner. And as you can see, it's somebody down middle who leaked out or whatever. So 21 is going to stick to 60, and then it's going to be 91's job to pick up 9 that's trailing behind me. So obviously, I'm the first one back. My job is to then pick up whoever's getting the ball. Now, as you can see, most people would have tried to jump or try to go for a steal. Now, I could have gambled. I'm going to rewind this here. I could have gambled or whatever like that. I rewinded too far back, but bear with me. Now, I could have gambled, but I knew I wasn't going to get this steal. I do have gold interceptor on this build, but a lot of people would gamble and try to get this steal, and a lot of times it's going to put you in a bad situation or whatever like that, or bad positioning, because then you're not going to get the steal. You're going to like reach or stop running and reach, or you're going to go flying to the left or something like that, and then the offensive player is going to have a clear lane to the basket. So again, this is what I mean by like anticipation. I'm anticipating that I'm not going to be able to make that steal or whatever like that. Even though the ball is kind of close, maybe I could have tried to if I had Hall of Fame interceptor or something like that, or if I was closer to the player, but I can't. So I'm in my head, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to try to just chase down, block him, or just try to defend him. So once I see him catch the ball, he's only going to do one of two things. He's either going to score or he is going to dribble the ball out, either to the left or to the right. But either way, I'm not going to press the jump button just yet because I need to see what exactly he's going to do. I mean, he could always throw it back, but 9 times out of 10, there's a player on both sides of number 60. So number 21 and whoever this is trailing could possibly intercept the pass, depending on how fast his throw is, depending if he flashy passes it, if he just presses X, or if he icons it or whatever like that. You might get a wonky animation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So then I see this animation right here, which means that he's going up with it. So now it's time for me to commit. I can try to press square and maybe I'll get lucky and rip it, or I'm just going to go up for the block or whatever like that. And because I have rim protector on bronze and bronze chase down artist with like a 65 block on this build, I'm going to just go ahead and anticipate that he's going up with it, because at this point, all he can do is either go up and hope he dunks or lays the ball up and make it, or pass out of it. And he's not going to pass out of it because it's probably going to be a turnover if he doesn't have like a gold bailout or Hall of Fame bailout or something like that. So I make the read or whatever like that, and then I get the chase down block on him. Okay, so this is another example. Let me rewind to play some. Now, this is another example of what I mean by anticipation and IQ reads on defense. You know what I'm saying? Being able to read the situation and stuff like that, and also doing it in real time. So you see the center, he misses the layup or whatever. Who cares? I mean, you know, Boofy, I'm not even going to do you like that, Boofy. But you know what time it is, bro. You know what time. You know what was going on in that party chat when you missed that layup, bro. But anyway, somebody leaks out, right? Now, again, like I said in another previous example, when you're the first one back, your job is to immediately pick up ball, or whoever is the first man back. So 9 is leaking out. That means that 21 is technically speaking ahead of me, so he should be picking him up, and I should be going to 20. But because he's the point guard, he's an offensive player, he's a play shot, he's not going to get that chase down block or that stop. He's not going to even scare that guy. So I should be picking him up, which I'm quick enough to do. And as you can see right here, I'm closer to 9 anyway at this point. I mean, 21 is still close to 9, but he's better off playing the 3-point line and playing the 20. So what, technically speaking, 21 was supposed to do was he was supposed to pick up 20, and then I should have made a play on the ball on number 9. So that's what I did. And then he gets the gather, and as you can see, 21 still not picking up his man. He should have went out to the 3-point line just in case this guy decides to throw a pass. I mean, at this point, there's no point in returning or whatever like that. If he do throw a pass out, it's probably going to be a turnover or a bad juggle pass, unless they both have Hall of Fame bailout and Hall of Fame glue hands. So shout out to glue hands, bro. That badge is goated. But unless he has bailout and he has glue hands, that pass is probably going to get jumbled, fumbled, or whatever, or get thrown completely out of bounds. So at this point, I see him gather, which means he's only got one option now. He got to go up with it. So he's either going to dunk it or I'm going to block him. And as you can see, I managed to get the block because he gets a back scratch animation in, you know, and that's how that turns out. So, you know, being able to make those key reads and stuff like that in those situations, you have like mere seconds to make those reads, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys another example of making reads. So we're coming down or whatever. I'm guarding my man. Everybody's guarding our man. Now, this team that we were playing was setting like a shit ton of screens. I will say that, you know, we did have a full 5, and we were playing against a full 5, but I've only played with the dude in the pink here. I really don't play with the other 3 dudes. The pink hair dude is the only dude that I played with like that. Shout out to my boy Boofy. The rest of these guys I've played with here and there, but we don't have a lot of chemistry. So, you know, there was a lot of, just mishaps and stuff like that. And it's going to happen naturally when you're playing with, playing against the full 5 on the other team or whatever like that as well. I had never played with our center before, whatever, or 91 before. So, it was taking some learning to how he plays and stuff like that. But as you see in this play unfold, this guy's been setting the screens and stuff like that. I'm still guarding my man. I'm like reaching in the passing lanes and stuff like that. 91 is doing a good job of staying on the screens and stuff like that as well too, because too many times you'll see centers not even try to help up on those screens. And you got to realize that if you just sit in the paint and you don't help on the screens, there's not going to be a rebound to get. He's going to green those shots off a Hall of Fame brick wall all day long. So there's no point in you just sitting down low thinking you're gonna get a rebound when the guard is just gonna green every shot. So he's still going. 91 is still trying to help or whatever like that. Now this is where the problem occurs, right? There's a little separation, and 21 is completely out of position because 21 has been reaching the entire time, which I understand. He's dancing on him and stuff like that. You get tired of that shit, of people dancing and whatnot like that. But him doing that puts him out of position, and it kind of screws up everybody else. It screws up Pink Hair, and it screws up 91. Now, 91 is going to make the mistake of jumping, and you should try your hardest, unless you're coming from like all the way over on a corner to another corner, or you're coming all the way from the paint to the wing or something like that. You should never jump on a free throw line. Never, ever, ever, ever jump on a free throw line. Unless it's like maybe like a game-winning shot or something like that. And even then, you kind of really don't want to jump just to risk that chance of getting a shooting foul, because I've seen so many shooting fouls in 2K22 compared to every other 2K. This is the only 2K where I'm seeing dudes actually getting shooting fouls off of jump shots and stuff. So, you don't want to, accidentally put anybody on a line for a game winner or something like that. So 91 makes the mistake of jumping at him, and now this is what screws everything up, because now 91 is in the air. Maybe he thought he was going to shoot, but either way, 21 reaching, the constant spamming he was doing, he's out of position. So now Pink here has to decide. He has to make the read in real time, mind you. You see, I'm pausing the video, but this is in a matter of seconds. Now he has to decide what he's supposed to do. Does he let him shoot that corner three, or does he come in the paint? Now, can 91 shoot? Honestly, I don't remember if 91 can shoot, but it's 2K22, so I like to pretend like everybody can shoot. Until he catches that ball wide open in the corner and then drives into the paint every single time, I'm just going to assume he can shoot. So the smart thing to do would be for him to run left corner and for 21 to drop down low, right? Now, I see this read, as you can see, and I try to make my way because I know this dude is wide open in the paint. I don't think Pink here is going to get to him in time. But I'm also thinking that Pink here knows not to give up the 3 to protect the 2. Why would you give up a 3 to protect the 2? You know what I'm saying? So you go to the 3 and just let them have that 2. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're down 1 point. You don't want to be down, even more points. You know what I'm saying? So you would just let them get that 2-pointer and call it a day, right? But that's not what happened. So I try to make the read and drop down, giving Pink here an out, because if Pink here drops to the left corner, if I come down, Pink here could go left corner, and then I could try to make this layup as difficult as possible, or maybe persuade him not to, but he doesn't. He comes down anyway, making a very bad read, and now left corner is wide open. Luckily, this dude pump faked. I jumped on the pump fake. I probably shouldn't have jumped, but I figure Pink here is down here. It's fine. Because now that I'm coming down and I jumped on the pump fake or whatever like that, now Pink here can jump and I can make my way to the left corner, right? But it doesn't matter because 91 then eventually rotates over. 21, at no point did he rotate over, but 91, seen his mistake or whatever, he rotate corner. This dude forces a layup and it's a miss anyway, So that's what I mean by making IQ reads and stuff like that, but also knowing that this is all happening in like the matter of like 2 seconds. If we rewind this back, see how fast this play actually unfolded. A matter of 2-3 seconds, and it's like it's over. So if he makes that read or not make that read, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, it's a turnover, and then we score on the other end. I'm chefing him up with the two-way sharp. Let's go. Okay, so now we're moving on to the on-ball defense section or portion of this guide. Now, on-ball defense is sort of like shooting jump shots. The only thing that's really going to give you good practice of actually playing on-ball defense is playing on-ball defense. The best player in the world can give you 1,000 tips on how to play on-ball defense, but unless you actually go out and put in the reps, it's pretty much useless information. The first mistake I see so many people make is that they never fully let go of turbo, and that's something I see people do on both sides of the balls, not just on defense, but people also do that, tend to do that on offense. If you're guarding someone with or without the ball, unless they're on a fast break and they're making a break for a corner or maybe to the rim or the basket or whatever. There's no need to hold turbo. You're just wasting stamina, and more than likely, when they make a quick stop or a move, a juke, a cutback, or something like that, you're going to overshoot the defender, and they're going to be wide open for a shot or a dunk or a layup or whatever. You know, another mistake I see people make is overusing intense defense. You know what I'm saying? Stop holding down L2 or LT if you're on Xbox. Um, I see tons of people holding down L2 nonstop, and then they wonder why uh, their matchup blows past them. The purpose of intense D is to cut your man off or to cut the lane off while they're trying to blow past you. Be it on ball or all ball. The L2 button is just there to help you to stop them from getting past you. When you hold down intense D, it makes you slower. If you ever notice that, move your player left and right without holding L2, then hold down L2 and move your player left and right and see how much slower you move when you slide your feet. The only time you should be holding L2 to play intense defense is when you make physical contact with the offensive player. Intense defense will kind of lock your body onto them and body them up, keep them bodied up on you and stuff like that, and cut off their driving lane. The other time is when they're trying to get past you and there's a little contact. They try to blow by you and they get a little bump animation. That's when you hit L2 and kind of lock them into your body. Especially if you're running a clamps badge, you can usually bump them or get a really good cutoff animation based on the level of clamps that you are running. Also, another mistake I see a lot of people making on defense is that they're just trying to run through screens. Stop running through screens. I get it. You made a lock. You might have high strength. You might even have a pick dodger on Hall of Fame. So you think you should be able to run through screens? No. Okay, hell no. Listen to the name of the badge. It's called Pick Dodger, not Pick Smasher, not Pick Blower, not Pick Demolisher. The whole point of the badge is to help you dodge the pick, okay? Dodge the screen and get around the pick, not blow through it. Okay? Utilize the badge for its intended purpose. Obviously, you can still, hit the screen a little bit, but the point is to basically graze past the screens, triggering the pick dodge animations. You know what I'm saying? When you graze by the screen or whatever like that while having pick dodger on, you're going to see a lot of those spin animations where you spin around it or swim by the defender and just move your hands around them and stuff instead of actually getting hit by the screen. Without the badge, you're less likely to get those grazing animations or those swim animations and stuff, and you get completely stuck on the screen, and your your matchup or defender, whatever you want to call it, gets a wide open shot. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling you guys, hey, look, don't just run through the screen. Try to avoid the screen. And then last but not least, everyone's favorite thing to do in 2K on defense is reaching. And long gone are the days where you used to be able to reach with the stick. I don't know if you guys remember those days, but I'm still pissed that they removed that because for whatever reason, reaching with the stick yielded way more poke balls, loose animations for me than reaching with square. I don't know why. Maybe it was placebo. I don't know. But I just felt like when I reached with the stick, I got more steals in like 2K19 and stuff like that. And 2K loves to nerf defense into the ground while buffing offense into the high heavens. So there's really nothing we can do about that. You know what I'm saying? Especially since they buff Unpluckable and Pickpocket was still nerfed even though they buffed Unpluckable. A mistake I see people making is that they like to spam and they think just because they have a 99 steal and a Pickpocket badge that they're just going to get every steal. Pickpocket isn't just going to magically give you the steal every single time you reach. The biggest thing that helped me with playing defense is counting dribbles. Defensively, I think one of my best years in 2K was 2K20, and that was because that was the year I really learned to start counting dribbles. And counting dribbles is literally what it sounds like, counting the dribbles. Of course, it's a little bit harder when you factor in that, players have so many stamina buffs. A player can have 99 stamina. If they don't have 99 stamina naturally, then they can get the Gym Rat badge that'll help them get 99 stamina. Then you also have badges like Handles for Days that's going to help them with keeping their stamina for dribbling the ball. Then you add in their ball handle rating. Having a high ball handle rating is going to help them from not losing the ball. Then you add badges like unpluckable. That's going to help them with not losing the ball. And then there's also ball handling or playmaking boost that they can buy. That's also going to help them with not losing the ball, as well as buying Gatorade for their stamina as well. Again, so when you look at it, logically, as a defensive player in this game, you are at a disadvantage every single time. There is pretty much no situation where you are at an advantage over the offensive player. So you have to play smarter than the offensive player. There's just so many more buffs to offense, And again, like I said, you can obviously counter some of that with like defensive boosts and running pickpocket and stuff like that. But that's where the buffs on defense pretty much ends. But even then, I feel like if I can count the moves, the dribbles that they make, 1 crossover, 2 crossover, 3 crossover, step back, I can kind of time when to reach. You know what I'm saying? So even if I don't get a steal or a poke ball loose, I can usually get a bump or a pickup ball animation and force them to pick up the ball and stuff like that. Maybe force them to throw a bad pass, a Stevie or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And just also mindlessly spamming will not get you more steals, and it's more than likely to just put you in foul trouble, especially if you playing rec and pro and where fouls really matter even more so. And I'm not saying that spamming doesn't work sometimes, because it's a video game. At the end of the day, it's not perfect. There are going to be times where you just spam and you get every single steal. And then there's even going to be times where you count the dribbles and you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm reach, and every single time you reach, you get a foul call. It happens. It's a video game. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system, but eventually, I feel like when you learn to count the dribbles, you'll start realizing like, oh, muscle memory. Like, oh, okay, you're not even going to be counting the dribbles in your head anymore. You're kind of just going to be watching them cross, step back, spin. Okay, now I'm gonna reach. You know what I'm saying? Cross right. When he bringing that ball back to his left hand, before he even goes back to dribble back to that right hand, reach. You know what I'm saying? Because spamming isn't gonna work every single time. Eventually, you might get lucky. You might get some pokes or some steals and stuff like that. But even then, it is still a bad habit to pick up. Okay, so here is an example of me playing on-ball defense. Now, as you can see right here, I tried to hold L2 because I thought I was going to get contact. But as you can see right here, I'm just holding up on the stick, and then you see I got hit with the screen or whatever. I tried to slip past it, and then they call a timeout because he couldn't really do nothing. And then here again, I'm holding L2 because I was bumping his body or whatever. Now, right there, I kind of overshot him or whatever because I was holding R2, and that's what you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to show you guys you don't want to do. So I'm skipping through this or whatever like that. I was pressing him or whatever. And then here you're going to see that whole time right there that I'm playing defense, again, I'm not holding L2 at all. I'm just using the left stick, and I'm just following my player around or whatever. And then, of course, we give up a basket or whatever. And now here's another example of what I'm saying. I reach or whatever, and then right there you see I'm holding L2 while I'm like bumping him next to him. And right here, this whole time, I'm not holding L2 at all. I'm just literally just chasing my man or whatever like that. And as you can see, I'm able to pretty much stay with my man or whatever the whole time. All right. So this next section that I want to talk about is badge selection, or in-depth breakdown of badge selection. Now, in my previous video on how to become a better defender, I talked about badge selection and how important it is to properly select your badges and have a good badge layout or whatever like that, because your attributes will, dictate how you play, but ultimately your badges will capitalize on that or emphasize certain attributes and stuff like that. Originally, I was going to break down this section into on-ball badges and off-ball badges, but then I realized there really wasn't a lot of off-ball badges besides like maybe 2 or 3 badges, and then the rebounding badges. So I decided to break them into 2 different categories instead. So I'm going to be doing perimeter badges, which are going to be for the guards and the wings, and then I'm going to be doing paint or big man badges for the power forwards and the centers. Because the badges I use on my two-way sharp or play shot or playmaker, or slash and playmaker or whatever like that, aren't going to be the same badges that I use on my glass cleaner or my glass lockdown in the paint or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Those are going to be two different badges or whatever. So let's just start with perimeter badges. The most important badges. This section is going to be the most important or the must-have badges. Now, these are the badges I feel like are the most important badges to have while being on the perimeter. Now, these levels don't indicate what level you should rock the badge. I'm just making them Hall of Fame because they are indeed the most important. Doesn't mean that you have to rock any of these badges on Hall of Fame, but these four badges here are the most important or the must-have badges in my opinion if you are a perimeter player. Ankle braces is going to help you reduce getting stunned. It's going to combat ankle breaker, space creator, and tight handles and stuff like that. Clamps is going to help you with staying in front of your opponent or matchup or whatever like that. You'll be able to cut them off when they do try to blow past you and stuff like that. A very solid badge. Interceptor is going to help you with getting in the passing lanes and getting those passing lane steals when you are guarding your men. And I found that sometimes when I press ball, if I'm running a full court press or whatever like that, maybe I got them back court for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and now they need to throw a quick pass up the court so they can avoid the 8-second violation. A lot of times when I press square, sometimes if I time it properly, I can deflect the pass or whatever like that and get a steal. Either I can pick it up or steal it out their hands, or just straight up catch the pass in the air, or I can deflect the pass and somebody on my team can pick it up. So I like to run this badge. I think it works not just off ball, but it sometimes works really well on ball as well. You can deflect some passes that your man tries to make or whatever like that. And then finally Hustler, which is just going to help you with getting those steals when you do tip the ball. It's going to help you with rebounds. It's going to help you with the poke ball loose. And it's also going to help you chase down the ball when somebody else deflect the ball and poke the ball loose. So it just, to me, ties in as a really good defensive badge or whatever like that, in my opinion. Now for the next badges, I'm going to remove these badges. And then the next badges are going to be secondary badges. Now, these badges are really good badges, but they aren't must-have. Like, you can play the game and still do well without these badges on the perimeter, as a guard or a wing. And that's going to be Intimidator, Chase Down Artist, Pick Dodger, and Pickpocket. Now, these are the secondary badges, in my opinion. Chase Down Artist, another badge that you get a lot of bang for its buck. A lot of people run this badge on bronze. I myself just run it on bronze. I think the max I put it up to is like silver on my big man or whatever like that. But a lot of times bronze is more than suffice just to unlock the chase down block animations. This paired with like a rim protector, and you will be getting ridiculous chase down blocks and snatch blocks and stuff like that. So chase down artists are very, very good defensive badge, but again, not a badge that you necessarily need to play really good defense on the perimeter, but it certainly does help to have, especially when you get beat. I've even seen this badge trigger in the twos court in a half court game or whatever like that. So you can trigger this badge. It doesn't have to be on a fast break. You can trigger chase down artists in a half court setting. So it's a really, really strong badge, Intimidator obviously causing your matchup to miss his shots, whether it be in the paint, a layup, dunk, a jump shot or whatever like that, a floater, alley-oops. This badge is just going to help you play defense. A lot of people would put it in the must-haves, but the reason why I don't have it in the must-haves, because before the recent buff to Intimidator, it pretty much did nothing on the perimeter. It was pretty much just a badge for down low big men or whatever like that for in the paint. And even with the buff, I still don't feel like it's that good, but I do still put it on, and I do feel like it does help me make my opponent miss here and there. It does pop every single time that I force a miss in the paint. So a lot of times I also come down to help my big man when I'm on my lockdowns and stuff like that. So I still feel like it's a badge that you would want to have on. You may not want to max it out, Personally, I run it on gold on my two-way shark, but you know, you could play around with the different levels like that and see what works best for you. But I feel like it does help. You know what I'm saying? Finally, we're gonna get over to the pick badges. Pick Dodger, a really good badge is gonna help you navigate through screens and dodge the screens. Everybody likes to run brick wall, and Hall of Fame brick wall is a bitch to get caught on. Pick Dodger is gonna help you with negating brick wall pretty much and avoid those screens. And if you're playing on ball on the perimeter, you're going to be seeing a lot of screens, especially at the 1 and the 2, because the 1 and the 2 is usually the primary ball handlers for the team. They're usually the play shots, the playmakers, the slashing playmakers, the dribble heavy guys or whatever like that. Also the ISO heavy guys, the guys that'll be running the pick and roll with the big or whatever like that. So you're going to be seeing a lot of screens and picks and stuff like that. So you kind of want to have Pick Dodger there just to help you out. Personally, I run it on silver, I believe, on my two-way sharp. And silver tends to get the job done, but I did run it on gold for a while, and I've seen a lot of good animations with gold. I think gold pretty much, you know, I've never ran it on Hall of Fame, but I think gold, for what it's worth, I got a ton of, Pick Dodger animations, the little spin animations where you bump the screen and you just spin around or whatever like that, like a football player or whatever. Really good animations with the badge or whatever. I didn't get really much success running it on bronze, so that's why I'm saying, silver or gold. But again, whichever level you feel suits you best, if you want to just save some points and just have it as like a little safety net or whatever, you can just throw it on bronze or whatever you feel is the best level that you need it at. And then finally, Pickpocket. This is another really good badge that's going to help you with playing on ball defense. It's going to help you not only steal the ball from the ball handler while they're dribbling and stuff like that. If you look at the description, it also tells you that it improves the chance of successful layup strips, and it also reduces the chance of getting a foul call when you do reach. So, when utilized properly, the Pickpocket badge is really good. Now, it was recently nerfed, but I do still feel like it's a really good badge. You know what I'm saying? It's very good, but I wouldn't put it in the must-have tier. But it's definitely a secondary tier badge that you should put on if you have enough badge points and stuff like that. And then finally, we're gonna get to the last tier badges, which is the utility badges. Now, these are the badges that I feel like aren't necessarily must-have or even secondary badges, but they can make your build better. They won't necessarily uh impact your build like a specific attribute or anything like that, but they're like a utility badge that like works in the background helping you play good defense, and that's going to be off ball pests, and that's going to be tireless defender. Now, off ball pass is really good because you can use it to bump and harass the off ball player while they're in the corner. It lets you grab their body, grab their jersey and stuff like that. I really like using this badge because it also helps me when I'm guarding that man in the corner. A lot of times when you're playing rec, or pro-am, they like to send that guy in the corner to cut back door, and especially if you are in a zone, it's going to force the center to play two men because now he got somebody going back door, and then now they have somebody with the ball who may be coming into the paint. Now the center has to choose who's he going to guard. Is he going to guard the guy that's coming with the ball, or is he going to guard the guy back door? Off ball pass a lot of times, even if you're playing man though, right? Somebody goes back door, they might be faster than you, they might get the blow past you. With off ball pass, you're going to grab them, bump them, and even if it stops them for a split second, it might give your big man time to get in position to guard the paint. And it might also give you time to just momentarily grab their jersey and stop them. Maybe their point guard threw up a lob, but now they can't get to the lob in time because off ball pass triggered and you grab their jersey or their shirt or whatever like that, and you temporarily stop them. Off ball pass is just going to unlock those type of animations and stuff like that, and you're going to see them more frequently the higher you put the level of this badge up. Personally, I just run it on bronze. I've never really ran it higher than that. I've tried silver once or twice, but I just felt like it just wasn't worth the points, so I run it bronze. In my opinion, it's a really, really good utility badge. And then finally, Tireless Defender, which this is just going to help reduce your stamina usage. The reason why I run this badge is because I feel like shooting is directly impacted by your stamina, and any badge that helps you reduce stamina usage is going to help you with playing better offensively, you know. And as a two-way sharp, the way I make my bread and butter is shooting. So I want to keep as much stamina as I possibly can, and Tireless Defender is going to help me with that. Tireless Defender is going to work every time you reach, you know, for the ball. It's going to help you every time you jump for a block. Any type of defensive movement, you know what I'm saying, is going to help you conserve stamina, which you can then use that stamina on offense, whether you're running around screens or cutting back door and stuff like that. The more stamina you have in this game, the better. So those are the badges, you know, that I think are, you know, vital as far as playing on the perimeter. Okay, so now we are going to be discussing the paint or big man badges. These are going to be the most important or must have badges for the big man badges. So we're going to be starting out with rebound chaser, rim protector, intimidator, and interceptor. Now, in my opinion, these are the most important badges for big man. Now, we already discussed intimidator and interceptor, so I won't waste any time going over those badges or whatever like that. You can just see the previous section on the perimeter to basically hear my breakdowns for interceptor and intimidator. Now, rebound chaser is probably the most important rebounding badge in the game. There's only 3 rebounding badges, but technically 4 if you count hustler. Some people don't, but I count hustler. But rebound chaser is going to be the most vital and most important rebounding badge in the game. It's going to just make you a better rebounder. And rebounding means more possessions, be it offensive rebounds, be it defensive rebounds. You want to be the team with the most rebounds. You want to beat your opponents on the boards or rebounds, because it just means that you have more chances at scoring. Well, like I said, whether it's defensive rebounds and stopping them from getting another possession, or offensive rebounds and extending your possession that you already have of the ball. So this is going to be a extremely vital badge, to doing that. Then we're going to be looking at rim protector, which is going to just be a really good badge at helping you get blocks and protect the rim, just like the badge name. It also says that it lessens the likelihood of getting dunked on. And also, by putting this badge on just bronze, you're going to unlock the snatch block animations. I try to rock this badge as high as I can. If I can get it Hall of Fame, I run it Hall of Fame. If I can max it out at gold, I max it out at gold. But I feel like as a big man, these are going to be your 2 most important badges, along with Intimidator is going to be your top 3 badges. These are going to be your badges that impact how well you do game to game. So those are the badges that I have as most important or must-haves for big man. So we're going to remove these. And then now we're going to take a look at the secondary badges. So for the secondary badges, I have box, I have brick wall, I have chase down artist, I have hustler, and I have post lockdown. Now, we already discussed chase down artist and hustler, so just like with interceptor and intimidator, I'm not going to be going over the badges I already discussed in a previous section. So if you want to hear my breakdown on chase down artist, or why you should be using hustler as well, you can go to the previous section and look at my breakdown on those badges. So I'm going to just be discussing box, brick wall, and post lockdown. Now, we'll start off with box. Again, there's only 3 rebounding badges in the game. 4 if you count Hustler, which I do count Hustler as a rebounding badge. But Box is going to just help you with what the name of the badge says, which is boxing. You know, you're gonna box your opponent out. It's gonna help you with keeping a strong box out. You know what I'm saying? As the description says, it improves your ability to box out opponents, and it is the direct counter to the worm badge. So the higher you have boxed, the less likelihood somebody is going to be able to worm you or, you know, spin around you, swim around you, and then get in position to steal the rebound from you. So you want to have this at a high level so you can maintain a strong box out or whatever like that. So people aren't pushing you out the way and swimming through you to get the rebound over you. Because again, like we said, rebounding is extremely important because it's going to help you win more possessions so you can therefore score. You know, you don't want to give up rebounds. You want to be getting the rebounds. Moving on to post lockdown, this is going to be extremely important badge when you're playing big because a lot of bigs have high strength. Now I know a lot of people like to run you know, speed invert and stuff like that, but me personally, all of my center builds have strength built into them. They're either a balanced build, you know, a balanced physical pie chart, or they're a speed and strength or a strength invert pie chart, because strength is very valuable at the center position. It's going to stop you from getting bullied, especially if you are a undersized center. My centers are all 6'11", so I'm like right in the middle of the road. I'm not undersized, but I'm also not oversized at 7'3" or 7'2" or anything like that. So when I do get matched up against a 7'3", I can pretty much hold my own because I made sure to put strength in my build. You know what I'm saying? I can also hold my own because I'm running post lockdown. Now, I've played around with this badge, but I've only run it on silver just to give me that, you know, insurance policy in case I do run up against a 7'3" big or a big who did happen to put strength up, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to have back down Punisher on their build as well. They're also going to probably have drop stepper as well, and they're going to be doing post moves and stuff like that. Now keep in mind, post lockdown is only going to help you with post moves. I know I mentioned back down Punisher, but that is a completely different badge. Post lockdown isn't going to stop you or protect you from back down Punisher. Post lockdown is going to protect you from Dream Shake, being stunned, you know, or moved by the Dream Shake post badge. Post lockdown is going to protect you from getting drop step or getting the drop stepper animation or stuns when they drop step you. And post lockdown is also going to help you when they use the post spin technician badge and spin off of you or whatever like that. It's going to stop with those spin or stun animations when they use that. Post lockdown is strictly for post moves, not being back down. So I feel like this is a badge that you should probably rock as high as you can. Personally, I don't, because I feel like there's not a lot of good there's not a lot of good post players in this game. When you do find a post player that's playing in the post, he's either going to just post hook cheese, or he's going to just try to use back down Punisher, or he's just going to try to drop step you to death. Usually it's the post hook cheese or the drop stepping you to death. There's not a lot of dudes that's really, you know, dream shaking, doing up and unders and stuff like that. So I don't really consider most players who's running big really good post players. And even if they are, 9 times out of 10 the guards are looking to shoot threes. They aren't even going to really throw the ball into the post like that. But I do have it as an insurance policy just in case I do run up against a 7'3" big. It's nice to have just in case you run into those types of players. You won't get, you know, absolutely destroyed for 30 or 40 in the paint or whatever, you know, especially if you're playing Pro-Am or you're playing Rec and you end up running against a full 5-man squad. Now, the final badge that I'm going to be talking about for the secondary badges is going to be Brick Wall. And the reason why I saved this badge for last is because this is an extremely important badge. This badge is not just one badge. This badge is 3 badges in one. And a lot of people don't realize that. I know some people are like, oh man, what happened to Moving Truck? Oh man, what happened to Bruiser? That was one of my favorite badges. I like draining people's stamina, etc., etc. They didn't take those badges out. They pretty much just merged all of these badges into one badge. If you look at the description, it says increase effectiveness of screens, which is what Brick Wall normally did. It also says it's tough to back down in the post, which is what Moving Truck did in 2K21. And then finally it says and drains energy from opponents on physical contact, which is what Bruiser used to do in, I believe, 2K20 before they removed Bruiser out of the game. You know? So this is going to be a badge that has three functions in one. So why wouldn't you put this badge on or take this badge? You know, obviously the most important part of it is, you know, the ability to set hard, tough screens that's going to be harder to get through. Means you're going to give your offensive, you know, teammate, your point guard, your shooting guard, more time to get their shot off if they're trying to get a shot off, or more time to beat their, you know, opponent to the basket or whatever like that. Then it's also tough to back you down in the post. So this is going to directly counter back down Punisher. So the higher you have this, the higher you're going to be able to counter being, you know, back down in the paint with somebody with back down Punisher badge on. And then finally, you're going to drain energy from your opponents on all physical contact. So whether you're just holding them, whether they're running through your screen, whether you're bumping them while they're dribbling the ball, whether you're bumping them while they're posting you up, all physical contact with you is going to drain their stamina even more. So you kind of want to have this badge on your build, period, but you also want to have it at a higher level because it's going to impact you on many different facets of the game. It's going to help you with post, it's going to help you with setting screens, and it's going to just help you with in general bringing down your opponent's stamina. And as we already covered, the less stamina that they have, the less likely they are to make their shots, be it layups, dunks, alley-oops, jump shots, whatever, you know, hook shots, whatever, you know. And then finally, we're going to take a look at the utility badges. And the utility badges I have for big man builds are off-ball pest again, pogo stick, and then finally worm. Now let's start with off-ball pest. Now, for previous badges, I said that I wouldn't go over the badges again because I did go over off-ball pest for perimeter players or guards and wings. But I use off-ball pest differently for big man. When it comes to the big man builds or whatever like that, my power forward, my centers, I don't really use off-ball pest to stop players. I mean, it is good for stopping that dude from making backdoor cuts. Usually if you're on the power forward, it's usually a glass cleaner that's sitting in one of the corners. But every now and then the glass cleaner might cut back door or something like that. It might be a stretch. The stretch might try to cut back door and try to fake you out, then cut back to the corner or whatever like that. I like using off-ball pest to stop those backdoor cuts and stuff. But another reason why I like using off-ball pest is because that grabbing of the jersey, the grabbing of the shirt, the pushing and shoving animations, the bumping is also really good when it comes to stopping the center from setting the screen on your point guard. Just that split second of me grabbing and bumping them and bumping them, grabbing their shirt, their jersey, stopping them or whatever like that. Just those 1 or 2 seconds takes time off the clock, one, and more importantly, two, it gives my point guard enough time to see the screen coming. Because now he sees the center coming over, he sees me bumping and grabbing a jersey, so now he has enough time to get himself in position to kind of slip the pick or the screen or whatever like that. He's able to get around it because he sees me grabbing and bumping him while the center is coming over to set the screen. So that's one of the reasons why I really, really like having off-ball pass just on bronze, because it's such a huge advantage to have, especially when it comes to stopping screens, when it comes to beating people and stopping them from letting them beat you backdoor and stuff like that. So this is a really, really strong utility badge, not just for perimeter players, but also for big men. The next badge on the list is Pogo Stick. Now, Pogo Stick, a lot of people might have Pogo Stick as a important badge or even a secondary badge. But the reason why I don't like having that as a secondary badge is because I feel like it promotes bad habits. Now, I've been a very what's the word I'm looking for? A very vocal, supporter of Pogo Stick. In 2K21, I felt like Intimidator didn't work down low for layups, So I just put on Hall of Fame Pogo Stick. I didn't even run Intimidator. And Hall of Fame Pogo Stick and Rim Protector was my Intimidator in 2K21. Uh, Nothing has really changed in 2K22. I'd still use Pogo Stick, but I try to put it on a lower level just so I don't jump as much. I feel like the best players, the best big men, they don't even run Pogo Stick because they know when to jump, when not to jump. And when you put Hall of Fame or Gold Pogo on, it's really good to just be able to constantly jump like that. But again, it promotes bad habits, and you don't want to have like a bad habit like being a jumper who just jumps in the paint and stuff like that. It puts you in foul trouble. You end up fouling, putting people on the line. You put your team in early foul trouble, and more importantly, it, like I said, it just promotes bad habits, and you get dependent on being able to jump nonstop with a badge. And then when they take that badge out of the game, then guess what? You still end up jumping nonstop. So I tend not to try not to use this badge at such a high level, or try not to use this badge as much. But I will admit that I still run it on like silver. Sometimes I'll put it up to gold depending on how I'm playing. If I'm having a bad night, I might bump it up to gold. But usually I try to run this on like a bronze or a silver, just so I'm not putting too much into what I like to call a crutch badge. So it is good for getting blocks and stuff like that, being able to jump repeatedly to get contested and stuff like that. The reason why I have it as a utility badge is because I do feel like you kind of want to be able to jump a little bit quicker, just because of the way the contest system works. A lot of times you aren't even going to get a proper contest unless you jump in this game. So it can be a strong badge, but really good defenders, they've trained, they know, they have the muscle memory to know when to jump and when not to jump in the paint or whatever. And then the final utility badge is Worm, and like I said, there's only 3 rebounding badges in the game, 4 if you count Hustler. And Worm is just going to help you with spinning around out of box outs and getting around the defender that's boxing you out and stuff like that. Now personally, I don't run Worm because I just feel like I don't get enough swim animations and stuff like that. But more importantly, because I have a high strength, and I noticed that when you have a very high strength, 87, 88, 89, and the person that's boxing you out don't have a high strength, I can worm them and swim them and move them out the way even without the worm badge. So a lot of times I just don't even run worm. But I feel like if you don't have high strength, this badge is going to help you with swimming and moving them around. A lot of times my guy just elbows them or throw a shoulder and move them out the way, so I don't really need this badge. But again, a lot of people are running the box out badge, so you might want to put Worm on maybe a silver just so you can counter that. But those are the utility badges for big men, and that right there is what I would call the badge selection section of this video or guide. Again, I just want to hammer home that these are just the badges that I think are vital, that I think are really good secondary badges, and what I think are utility badges. At the end of the day, these are just, recommendations and suggestions based on how I play the game. At the end of the day, you should pick and choose which badges work best for you. I play a certain way, you may play a certain way. You may be a better defender and you may not need a lot of these badges to be gold or Hall of Fame or silver, or you might be really bad and you might need all of these badges. You might be a worse defender than me and you might need all of these badges to be Hall of Fame or gold or a higher level to perform really well defensively. Doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that you use what suits your skill and ability to help you play the best defense you possibly can. So that is the badge selection section. And that has been my guide on how to become a better defender. Part 2 of the guide, man. If this video gave you any, insight on how to become a better defender, maybe helped you with your badge selection, or how to make better reads and stuff like that, things to just look for, or just helped you in any way, please be sure to drop a like. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop weekly content on the channel, usually geared toward NBA 2K and usually geared toward helping you guys with badges, builds, and just badge breakdowns and just general content, just helping, be it tips and tricks or how to's or guides or whatever like that, to just basically playing better, in NBA 2K. Um, I just want to help the community just get better at the game. Um, that's all. I primarily play with randoms when I do play, and I feel like the better the 2K community is, the better chance I have at winning more games and playing better as well with other people. You know, pretty soon I'm looking to start streaming and stuff like that. I'm trying to come up with a schedule to where I can stream and stuff like that as well. So that's coming, and I'm also going to be looking to do gameplays and stuff like that, because I know some people have said they want to see gameplay from me. They want to see me play and stuff like that. And I get it. Y'all don't want to really take information or tips and stuff like that from somebody you haven't seen play the game. You might be like, yo, he's ass, he's not good, he's this, he's that. So I get it. I'm working on getting the gameplay and stuff like that, as well as doing streams and stuff like that, because I know some of you guys have also asked me about streams and everything like that. Right now I'm just focusing on the YouTube content side or whatever like that, getting these videos out, getting these content and the stuff like that out to you guys as well. But trust me when I say that I got a bunch of more videos and content in the works and stuff that I definitely have planned. So look forward to that. And yeah, man, like I said, just drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K22 content. It's been your boy Make America Lit. I'm out.